singular week, of course, over in China, and then played a singular best of one here, you're going to have to adapt incredibly quickly if you're going to actually be able to sort of put up against this composition.
Well, kicking us off, it will be a
I must wait a moment.
Clear intention to take this towards the A site from EDG. They've left a trap on C for the push, but it is 5 players down through long. A direct attack. And Boostio, the one with the pressure on, but rotation's already in. Asuna here, dropped immediately, and another following up as 100 Thieves lose most players on the site. Cryo managing to fly under the radar at least, picks up one. The Paranoia delivered, gets him a second, but they're losing players second by second. Xander in for the double, leaves him in a 1v1. And a close bar with the HP low. It doesn't matter. ZJC able to take it across the line.
Hey, I don't mind it. Look to use that extra personnel, but the plant is actually seemingly going to be that little bit more aggressive. They're planting for the spawn and looking to push it, but they are walking into pretty much all the defense.
I'm out of here.
This is a difficult scenario, and Asuna jumping and spraying. Still, it ends up remarkably close. A couple of picks from the side, put it down to 2 alive on 100 Thieves. Well, we see that movement towards the C site, where now Boostio is set up and has a hell of a challenge on his hands without that garage control.
It almost feels like he needs to get 2 here as a minimum. There's nobody else even remotely close, and he gets nothing. ZJC, another high impact kill. We saw in the pistol, he basically won it for them, and now this round's looking done. I think the remaining players on 100 Thieves are almost forced to save, and it feels a bit silly with how, well, sort of just 2 kills have gone the other way, but you look at the finances, you got a couple of players who can maybe invest into like a Guardian, a Bulldog, or something of the likes, or maybe Cryo can drop a proper rifle over, but if they don't save these 3 weapons, the chances are they're not going to be able to have a buy in the next round, and I think EDG have made that realization. Okay, nobody's come around this position. We need to clear these guns out.
And that they will. A full swing into spawn, takes down one. The others backing off. You can see Asuna up in heaven and already sprinting away. Sound being made towards garage. And it's this reveal here. No, it wasn't. It was smoked off. They actually blocked the reveal and still was able to get
Never mind. He just spammed it.
Yeah, we switched away. We didn't see it in the moment, but it was a blind spam
crazy.
through the wall.
Maybe a little bit of sweet justice with the spam that came through a couple of rounds ago through the wall, but that one's more absurd, if anything. It's a straight walk-up. Like, okay, he took so much damage early, but what? What is that? That kill couldn't see a thing. Just takes the head clean off. They only had a couple of guns to play with in this scenario, but it seems to have worked out for them. Blink and you miss it. 100 Thieves break back.
In taking the A plays, then A space into slow mid push and garage push. So the idea there from 100 Thieves to go down on C, they probably thought they'd get free space, and instead they had a perfectly timed push, great utility. Following up into this round, the same thing, direct A play, opening pick is wonderful. Xander caught after one, but there's plenty more players to fill in that space. And 100 Thieves, now that we're seeing that little bit of aggression coming out of them off rip, they seem to be a different team altogether.
Yeah, I think that maybe in some of the early rounds, they were showing a bit too much respect. For me, very happy to see Boostio back on an international stage. I just think that he has so much more flair than anyone else. I've seen this round before.
Yeah, it's a little slower, a little more tempered. The Paranoia primed and ready, fired through by Smoggy to try and delay. This time EDG a bit more ready. They hadn't put all their eggs in one basket with a big C long swing. They waited it out. And as a result, relatively even footing with that pick from Chichu. That's opened the B site. That's given info on Cryo as well, so no jump scare for him. And they'll go right back towards this C site, up against EU, who was their standout player in their opening matchup here at EWC. And you see why. Connecting 2 solid shots and leaving Chichu to pick up a 3K. There's a minute to do so, but they know exactly where he is.
I like this as well. It gives them an opportunity to sort of group up and actually play this one together. A split 1v1 for Chichu, the guy's terrifying. There's a real chance that he takes that round home. Instead, even though they haven't managed to do something with the ult other than information, the main thing is both players are now playing off of each other. This 2v1 has just become so much more difficult for G2 to try and win, and that's incredibly well played. And again,
and stacking heavy towards A, expecting EDG to run the same round again and again, and even playing passive on that stack. It was a terrible idea, and it was one that they've obviously heard the players communicating that, okay, we need to play a little bit more aggressive, we need to make a little bit more aggro control in those early rounds, and no need for a pause, because they had the right ideas in between those rounds. Again, the early aggression gets 100 Thieves the advantage. Now a 5 versus 4 to play with. Still a couple ultis that could make this, at least turn this back in EDG's favor a little bit. The Rolling Thunder for ZJC. The Hunter's Fury for nobody as well, and clearing out these spaces, but they need something to go their way soon.
It is just this aggression and re-aggression, though. You think you've managed to survive that initial hit, that you could see EDG are trying to slow things down to be more prepared for the way that 100 Thieves are playing, but it doesn't seem to be working for them. And Arsenal has just been incredible with that first bullet accuracy. It's some of the shakiest aim I've ever seen in my life, but somehow manages to make it look even better than just someone hitting those first initial one-taps. And while for Smoggy,
this is the scary thing as well. 100 Thieves obviously on form, but for EDG, very similar to what we saw in that previous game that they played. Oh, Hunter's Fury pick.
Okay.
Damage done as well. You know, EDG up against...
they're destroying them. Like, this is a buy round. They're just running it down. They've already got a Hunter's Fury kill. They got a kill to the play. They're in spawn, Mitch. The EDG are cowering in spawn.
Straight off a timeout as well. And what I'm saying, like, up against Gen G, got wrecked in the same fashion. It was an early start that looked okay, and then a commanding lead, and it looked like they didn't have anything to say in those rounds from, what, round 3 onwards, essentially. Here, they get a 3-1 start. It's now 6-3. They're being dominated in almost every fight that 100 Thieves are going for, sometimes with utility, sometimes without. This time, a crossfire. Asuna gets ahead of it, and sure, a couple of picks come in, but look at how desperately low they are. Still 3 rifles on the other side, still control of the map, still got them boxed in with Boostio pushed up. This is like major deja vu for EDG.
Oh, there's no way they expect Boostio to be here, and they're both within a shot or two. Okay, I don't know how he's not hit that one.
Left.
I feel like that one was almost as free as the next one. Fair enough, Boostio's not, you know, he's the leader, doesn't need to get kills. He'll leave that to too much information. He's locked in the back corner, but the plant could suggest that maybe he's gone all the way back towards long. The first onto Cryo. That's not bad, but he's not going to correct in time to find out onto Xander. It's a nice attempt from Kankan.
14-6 at the moment. EU delivering on the same level that he did in their opening matchup. But like I'm saying, for EDG, this is what this tournament has been for them so far. They played a BO1. They could be going out
they
here
got
now.
him.
Finally an opening pick. They need to have a commanding comeback into this half. 7-5 closeout.
Might give them the information that they need. I think, yeah, they're going to start their push-up. But it is being watched.
Spike planted.
A deep play from 100 Thieves. Smoggy, like you said, watch him for this. They've sent back Chichu as well. He'll be covering that C walk up, but Xander still manages to get the pick. That pulls Smoggy in the other direction. ZJC filling in the space. Smoggy gets another. For the squad of EDG, they're now fully in control. The time ticking, backside B controlled there for them. Kankan spotted in the corner. But lurking in the back of their mind is Smoggy, and it's Kankan with the op shot to put it all onto EU. A standout player for them in their opener. A solid, reliable pair of hands here, but it's not to be. And a much needed round for EDG Connected. They get the opening kill.
Now we even have a little bit of extra spice of life. He'd managed to find the kill with the Vandal, but this is all just to make sure no one could push, and it hasn't worked. Finally, Cryo will be able to at least get the trade, but even still, again, Arsenal being down is not bad for EDG. That does feel like a worthwhile trade out, and now they're going to try and pincer down on it. It's not pretty, though, from nobody.
I don't mind him pushing up in that space. Yes, he's alone, and it was a 4v4, but the B space has been left open by 100 Thieves so many times that the contact play seems worth it. But with him going down, now the players are left with a disadvantage. Moving back into this C site, the space has been filled in. Cryo was towards the A site, but now they've got numbers ready and waiting. An easy pick. A good trade, though, by Smoggy keeps them in it. Rolling Thunder still online. They might use this a bit more aggressively to try to take this control.
Maybe you'd expect them to almost try and challenge the spawn. They are going to try and challenge the spawn, but they don't realize that they've already lost too much control. It's going to be left now just to Smoggy. Well, Thunder doesn't even give him a second's notice. He looks like he's washing his hands of them. They can become a devastating force. 100 Thieves, though, have looked fantastic. And now, with this double duelist going into the attack, I don't think the pace is going to be stopping. The B-site read, though, from EDG was good to start.
Yeah, good gamble certainly pays off as they managed to stop the initial push. The C-site play, though, stun was perfect. It actually stopped Chichu, kept him in the corner, so they can't fully get that space back. But Smoggy up on top of those logs, able to grab himself a double, a triple, in fact, and EU will quickly be dispatched. A much-needed pistol round landed for EDG.
Getting those early rounds has been enough to sort of put EDG at least into a position where this map can become competitive. I like that, though. It seemed like they had a good read on what...
Sent through by EU has broken that and left the cam as the only real piece of information they have to work with. Two players spotted and through the cage. Concon's gone down. EU's a menace when it comes to these spams. And another found by 100 Thieves. Bustio lurking over on the A site, grabs himself a double, and this round is done and dusted. Before it even gets off the ground, EDG have come crashing down.
Yeah, this now comes down to...
attempting to punish that slide in.
It's also, they've just given up the site completely. You've got this super aggressive push through middle that just wasn't caught. Xander was not prepared for that sort of a swing. EDG...
You don't normally see map control like that. And 100 Thieves read it perfectly, even with that push up through mid. Not the initial one, but the second one, and how they were being held to wrap through spawn. On site now, Concon wins that. Stunned up, but he's still good for the fight. And it all goes crumbling down for 100 Thieves. That win streak that we saw in the first half, not likely to be replicated here. EU will find nothing. And EDG, 5 players alive. It's a flawless round to put them 9-7.
Yeah, I think the great thing there from EDG is you see what happens when they're actually able to set up.
That's about it off the top of my head. I don't know what 100 Thieves have done to fully sell that fake, but a free C site claim, a plan secured. Bustio taken out. In towards Garage. As EDG look to flood back in, they're already thinning the herd quite nicely. Cryo steps up to a triple, and it's a 2v1 now with nobody left alone. Cryo needing a 4K to take this across the line, and he's going to commit that TP. Making his way off the site, buying a little bit more time. The smoke fading, he's being caught, but that actually confirms that the defuse isn't underway. Just now getting to half, nobody spotted as he gets right back on that defuse, and a 4-piece for Cryo.
The quick swing from Concon giving them that man advantage, but Cryo was just a force to be reckoned with, just making sure that nobody was getting back out from that connector, from the double doors, and then in the 1v1 at the end. Okay, it got a little dicey for a second where they doubted the smoke, but...
yeah, the A side's just been overrun again. Chichu, he's going back out. He's looking for the fight, and the information on the back of it, well worth it. The fact that he gets out of there without being punished is huge. Hunter's Fury put through, good tag, and the follow-up is there. Cryo down. EU left all alone. He's being flanked out, reads it, but can't land the shot. Well handled, and EDG.
I bet he's got the most kills.
Yeah. You look at the scene, typically they're going to the opposite side of where he is. The gamble's paying off.
They avoid him for a bit.
But it's kind of hard to avoid him on a retake. If he's not there, you wonder what the hell he's doing. Asuna good on the Chichu. Go! He's good for another 2. Sliding around with the shorty in hand. And he's going for more!
All right.
With an up. That's ridiculous. Being left behind to lurk out that space, but hold on. They took Garage, they looked for a C play, but now they come back in the other direction. Concon waiting patiently, and he finds his reward. An opening pick, a second on the follow-up, a bold choice to continue trying to challenge. EU's got the spike. It would be brave. Indeed, he did end up swinging it after hearing the dash back. He'll creep up behind late. Asuna, EU, finding some. Bustio in there for a double. And now it's winnable for 100 Thieves. Concon did what he could, but Chichu takes a double spray. Both headshots!
That's madness. Like, the way the round started, yeah, EDG probably should have won the round, but like, oh my god, they even played it together. That's brutal.
One sees there for the opening fight. One sees the one picking them off. They've been winning the round. And again, he'll be here. The first shot into a decoy. Now they know what they're facing. Asuna diving around. Cryo gets one, but immediately traded out. The Hunter's Fury chasing Concon, but it won't delete him. But nobody falls. The numbers are back to a 3v3. The flank watch by EU could pay off dividends, with Chichu sneaking his way past the cage active, but that gives away his spot. Concon from heaven, making it difficult. This is where EU needs to move, and he's heard the steps. He knows that Chichu's here. This should be an easy equalizer. Xander looking the right way, had all the info to play with, and we're down to a 2v2.
Round that could end up deciding the map. Oh, it's the EU shot. I thought for a second that Concon had managed to make that work, but he hasn't. And now left on to Smoggy. A man known for those high impact moments, but EU has discovered him. He knows that there's two angles that he needs to clear. Smoggy trying to find that second player, and he's just not quick enough. Xander is going to get them to 12. Concon in position. They're leaving this very, very late already. I think that's the Hunter's Fury going through. One player has made it in, and they have managed to, I believe, reveal that Chichu is on this corner. They know he's here, but he still wins the fight. 15 seconds, they've got to try and make that run, and in fact, they're going to go back towards the B site, right into the hands of Concon, who's just waiting for them and shutting them all down. 4 kills for Concon, but it really feels like 100 Thieves if...
If it works, it works. It certainly did for him. Overtime possible here for EDG. Asuna's dove into that back side. Ult activated as Cryo gets traded out. Here's Asuna's moment. What? Concon to shut him down. An immediate reversal of the favor as 100 Thieves. Weaker weapons for the most part. A man disadvantage. A paranoia that catches all 3 players. That's an easy dive in as all the control should be taken back. Some still inside the smoke, and they're caught running out of it. Too slow to follow up on that paranoia. 100 Thieves. They get their vision back.
We have just seen it on the previous map. This is the exact same comp, and I don't mind it. The sort of flashy, aggressive style that they brought out was clearly something very difficult. It was actually last week. They ended up with a 9-3 defensive half for EDG. So maybe even again, if they have a slower attack side, it's not the end of the world. Cryo, there's nothing slow about this defensive side from him and Asuna. Straight down into the mid pressure. Now, one of them is able to get out of there for free. EU doesn't have that luxury. He is just going to have to stick it out in mid, at least for the moment.
He's got backup. Boostio's here. Had a tough first map, but he's putting himself on the board early here. Concon, oh, a few missed shots. That was almost EU sent out of the round. Nobody on his way up to do, or at least make an attempt at the same. He's wallbanged EU down to half. Prowler's on its way. And that's going to get the players out to the site. EU, not much that he can do about this. Oh, wait, he goes in for one anyways. He's hit a wallbang headshot. ZJC desperately low, picked off by Cryo. An easy follow-up onto a Concon, it should be, with 10 HP. And with nobody gone, this round done and dusted. Fittingly, a wallbang to close it out.
I was going to say, it's another spam. That spam kill was not aimed for ZJC, and he's the one that dies to it on Haven.
Seemed to be before the previous map, yeah. The flash ready as well for Cryo. If Concon steps forward, this will be the end of him. Even with the, oh, maybe not. Good flash, stun goes out. Cryo's caught. He can't follow up. That's gone about as well as it could. 9 HP left on Concon, but it's enough. They've got the opening pick. They've dealt with that early aggression right off rip.
And in the meantime, EU swung into mid and lost the battle versus Chichu. It's going to be re-aggression. That's the thing with this composition. You kind of need to get aggressive, and when it fails, the dominoes start to fall. Concon desperately low, so a trade onto him. I was going to say should be easy, but actually he's found a player down to just 5 HP. Xander is clinging to life, and well, the rotation again is being held by Chichu. He's had a great round away from the rest of the team. And well, a lot of steps being made by nobody. That's going to be a quick acceleration into this site. Still though, one of the players waiting for them is Asuna.
And he's good for a double. That's 100 Thieves with a quick response. Boostio gets one before falling. Asuna does end up going by the wayside, but it's still a 1v3 needed for Smoggy.
This is a lot to ask. Manages to reposition and has actually found a slight gap, but I think very quickly EU makes that realization of, okay, there's one spot that he could have gone that we're not currently covering, and immediately fills the gap in. Even still, Smoggy has managed to hit the headshot, but he's completely blinded, still makes it around the corner. The B site is open, but he's not necessarily looking to go there without at least finding the kill. EU playing this one incredibly safe. 30 HP. Okay, a plant should at least go his way, but the round, no chance.
Even the plant, I'm not sure. He's running knife out, gets there a little late, but I mean quickly puts him to bed. Another round for 100 Thieves, and Asuna, definitely the player you look to. This is the reason they're able to find that off and play for Cryo. It's gone mid this time, but they're bypassing it yet again. EDG, direct play to A. No Asuna this time to hold on to control. Good reveal, great reveal in fact. Somehow Concon still gets one. The spam takes down EU. And now Xander, oh, he's TP'd into the breach util. A shock for him for sure. Still manages to get one, but EDG have all the information. The player behind.
Oh, okay.
This was for Boostio.
Yeah, both players have that additional information. Nice shot from Boostio at least, but the remaining two have made it difficult. The IGL having to try and take this over the line, and he's managed to get rid of ZJC. Both players with knowledge of the other. Smoggy healthier and will be there to close. A close round for either side and a decent attempt coming out. A little bit awkward with the weaponry for Concon. They haven't checked the corner, and Cryo's got away with two. It's a good thing that Chichu manages to find that trade, or this could have got truly dangerous. For EU's also then thrown in a Hunter's Fury. A little bit too much distance between him and ZJC for that kill to come through. It was desperately close, but he at least tagged him up once, leaving the breach low.
45 HP. A roll in. Oh, a shock dart to the face! Smoggy has to do it all now. They don't have that rolling thunder to work off of. It's all down to him. And EU with his third kill of the round. Hunter's Fury, shock dart and a stinger. And it's enough to give 100 Thieves a fourth.
He's so good. Like, all of his utility seems to bring value to the squad. He was actually, as I said, a little bit unlucky that
they've been punished. They're put down to pistols. A rifle on Smoggy is all that they have to work with. He's hiding inside a smoke as somehow an entire portion of the map has gone EDG's way. They're already swinging him behind. Concon's got a double with a Sheriff. Smoggy strikes towards the A site, and with a TP in, they're now ready to fight with 3 weapons in a 5v2.
And these last couple of rounds have just been utter madness. Like, the supportive utility that was about to be put into play for Concon became completely useless because he killed both players before it hit. Coaching staff, because they're a big part in their successful run at Champions. And well, Chichu, it's just disrespect now. He's taken what Arsenal was doing in the previous map and said, you know what, I'm in form right now. I'm going to try and fight you back. And well, I think he's seeing ghosts at this point, was expecting somebody to be around that corner.
Oh, he stepped there. Xander knows that he's coming around that corner and he'll take him down. The jump up, poorly timed. Exact angle Xander was holding. Stun goes in. You can see Boostio caught towards the backside. Cryo comes in to support him. Looks for them around the left. Finds 2. Smoggy eliminating Boostio. Puts a little more pressure on that backside, but Concon running it down has just flipped the script with a triple kill. EDG, it looked like there was a bit of a bump in the road in the side take, but again, Concon's the one to close it out.
This judge is not that useful anymore.
Yeah, Chichu's, I mean, they're going for the same strat they did on their low buy. Blitz up to mid, stun on one side, Concon opening it up. 2 players waiting around the other corner though. But they're running away. Oh, this could be a mistake. Xander hoping for some impact with that judge. EU grabs
no.
a double alongside Xander, and they catch ZJC looking the wrong way. A thrifty round win. Giving up the space, not looking for the fight, and then grabbing the information on that player still outside of A. Cryo is going to go for it. Asuna ran in, but nobody just picked up both. A beautiful spray from him.
At the ult as well. Finding no target. EU's in the same boat. The time is the main issue for EDG, but they've managed to get into the site, find the opener onto Boostio, and then put themselves into the post spawn. Now we saw a 2v4 to end the last map. ZJC is walking backwards as well. He eventually gets the information that there is a player in behind. EU sneaking his way through the edge of the smoke, but he's just waiting for his teammate to come through. It's the usage of that paranoia. Shot darts doing damage. They are whittling away, but Kankan still survives at the back of the site with nobody alongside him. It is going to be EDG to go in with a lead on their map choice, but it was close. I think if they've let this go through, there is a very good reason for that. Nobody, though, already in a solid position. And well, you could kind of see why they had such a dominant defensive side if he's going to be doing stuff like that all half.
He's been reliable. You think back to one of the last rounds, Asuna and Cryo go swinging into him, and he takes both down with a beautiful spray transfer. And I like the discipline too. Here he finds a double and backs off. He's in spawn right now as they push down on mid as a response, completely surrounding these last players and leaving EU and Xander in a 2 versus 5. Very much winnable, but not when they stack up like that. Swinging in was Smoggy with 8 on the board now. EDG have their lead extended.
19-9. So I think if you went, I don't think that was the right play, go, press tab and shut up.
Who do you think you are?
And here he goes again, and that's why.
Oh,
well, EU, he got to win the fight last time around, but that's the upgrade. See, he's got a Phantom now.
Boostio tried his best to save EU there. He threw down a cage, but Kankan's just too quick in following up on that aggression. The benefit, as you said, the comfort of the Neon here shining through. Surprising EDG, you know, they're in a 5v4, and Chinchu's making, again, you see this discipline, the wise call of not playing on the A side. If they need to play retake, they will. But if he stands there and goes down, now all of a sudden numbers are even, and it's a different game altogether. Instead, look at the minimap. They group up. It's going to be a full 5-player retake.
It's a counter paranoia, though.
Yeah, they're waiting for it.
They're ready for the swarm. There goes the stun. Paranoia immediately thrown through. Boostio tries to make a play off it, but can't find anything. Kankan leading the charge, but he is lost. Arsenal and Cryo combining. A trade back at least, but it's Cryo once again. He's been having a solid game, and now that advantage swings firmly in the favor of 100 Thieves. It's going to be left all on to Chichu. Chances slim as the swing back from Cryo. It is a superb round from him individually. And considering they had some...
Kankan with an operator. You bet your ass he's playing aggressive. Straight down to mid. He spotted the barrel. Blood in the water. And he's eating good tonight. That's Asuna down and out already.
Ooh. Only just about escapes. That Hunter's Fury is available. Now the idea from EU is sell a fake, sell a ruse, try and bait them into a rotation, and he has at least kept players on the A side. The problem is, if Kankan hits this first shot, the round almost feels like it's over.
Well, he's hit it, but not on a player. It was only the decoy, the stun, got Chichu the pick though, down to 2 HP. When he could tank a body shot, it was a different game, but now just one needed in return. One shot from any weapon and he's down and out. Xander's the one to land it. Smoggy though has kept things heavily in their favor. An accidental weapon swap for Xander, and he's trying to bait them in. But look at the 3 players pushing from the same angle. Jump spot to start. Beautifully handled there by Smoggy. Nobody's the one to find the kill. That puts EDG up to 11.
Xander to collect. Does have the ultimate available. They're trying to bait Kankan. That's the thing about Kankan. You think like, okay, he's just gone for that face in the same position. Surely he'll be a bit more passive. No! And Arsenal not expecting, but was a bit of an off angle. That's already as bad of a start as you could have. You've lost one, a second gone as well. Now the spike has finally been reclaimed, but this is already feeling like too little too late. The TP TP at least puts a little bit of danger, but he's been seen.
Yeah, the idea here, nobody had already put Nightfall through. Didn't spot anyone. Gets past the first player, but now shot in the back.
Okay.
Xander and Cryo able to bring this back to even numbers. The timing. Oh, it's terrible for Cryo. He's picked off going into his ultimate. That should have been a free rotation. Information, droves of it. Smoggy.
Oh, we're
That
even now.
wasn't quite the TP he was looking for, but he's gone into the smoke. Spike in hand, picked up Chichu. Con hot on his tail, swinging around. They're both in utility, but Xander gets his weapon out just in time. That was dangerously close.
He is still going. He's still going.
Boostio's hiding at least behind the box, but he's going to be cleared. It's a free pick for nobody. You know, not ideal, to say the least. Chichu's got Asuna. Now we're down to a 4v3. Xander picks off another. Okay, that's Con dead. That's a big player out of the round. Nobody somehow backstabbing another before he's dropped. Gaps for 100 Thieves. And there's a second flanker coming up. ZJC's got a freebie, and that's the spike on the floor. 30 seconds. EU has an idea. And he's even shot him through the wall, straight to the dome.
30 seconds left.
But Smoggy still drawing breath. 25 seconds left. And look, they're just playing the regroup. ZJC back with his teammate now. 20 seconds left for EU. Time running desperately low, and he still has to get past ZJC. He's already tagged up the other player. It's winnable. 12 seconds. He's got to run. He's got to be fast, and he's got his knife out as he goes through the smoke. Smoggy's inside already, waiting for him to step on in. EDG, they've bought a third map in this series.
He's really paved the way for Chinese Valorant to thrive, and to see him kind of get into that zone. I think that's why the rest of his team was just starting to pop off in their own right.
I guess Con could thrive. You think about how fast he's been getting into those angles, sliding in with the neon, well, you're going to see the same kind of thing here. And also, I think the refract, which is the teleport that you can place and then recall yourself to. Elimination on the line for whichever team drops the ball here. This is the lower bracket run, and that means that they're key, standing in front of the players on the stage now. At least one of those will be crushed before the day is over. EDG on the attack. The B site under pressure. Smoke flash already down, and here he goes. Con on his way, and Boostio's caught him.
Yeah, the opener. Smoggy immediately there with the trade. In fact, Boostio's gone down alongside, and Chichu just waiting. Those mid-lurks on Sunset were a real problem for the side of 100 Thieves, and it seems like that is going to be a repetitive theme for them, with him just holding that ground. Arsena now on a slightly more passive agent of the KO. Nice couple of shots to start, but there are so many more to find and so little time to try and do it. He's hit another dink. It's a nice amount of headshots, unfortunately only rewarded with a singular kill. And back to winning ways, it is EDG with the first under their belt. That will help to that leaderboard is not something that either of these teams will want, but also they're both gunning for their own trophy. Xander, what a start he's had in this round. That's absolute destruction. They barely make it out of the choke, and the one player that did was dealt with immediately.
He's going straight in for this mid-aggression. No dash even activated just yet. And it looks like nobody is just about to walk into him. In fact, it was ZJC who backstepped a little too early.
Didn't have the information over middle. Both those sort of wing conditions for 100 Thieves are in play. Now they have to make sure they clean this close angle. Kankan's dashed over the top, but he is yet to be spotted. That's a freebie, at least for one, but the trade back is there, keeping things at least in a workable position. However, the defense do have an advantage.
Well, it's not over till Kankan's dealt with, and Asuna, he thought that space was clear, was theirs, but not even close. Kankan's double has got them a plant and an advantage. Now in a 2 versus 1. And Xander, the player who picked up that 4K in the previous, has to pull off the 1v2 clutch. He's already been spotted. And as you said, Kankan has the ultimate. Could think about deploying it here as soon as they hear those steps, those boots on the ground. Spotted by the cam as well. Time ticking away. Pressure on for Xander. He's made his way around to the right side. That paranoia is perfect. It's caught them both. It could be a freebie, and Xander here! He's done it again! The round for 100 Thieves!
How did he know? Like, I was going to give credit to EDG. They were both backside. They got spotted and they went, let's completely reposition. Let's go somewhere. As he just TV'd, he's just TV'd to get the off. Heavy defensive side success.
Back in a flash.
For EDG, they've proven, at least versus Titan, they could have great attack sides, but historically, again, it's that defensive side. Immediately, they have thrown in the Hunter's Fury. EU has managed to dodge that completely. I don't know how. It looked like it was going straight into the back of the site, but he hasn't taken a lick of damage, and instead, it's actually Cryo to find the first. But guess who's there to trade? And what? Cheech just goes running at his opponents. Blink and you miss it. It's all down to one, and well, it's a nice try, but you didn't get the raid boss. We'll ignore that because it's fine when Khan can build it up every 3 rounds.
It did force a player to move, who then got a kill. So, yeah.
Peekaboo.
There we go. He spotted the info. Hunter's Fury goes through. Good connection. And Khan down early. A very valuable pick. A scalp taken who's almost got as many kills as the rest of his team combined. Nobody down and out. Damage done to ZJC and Smoggy with the Hunter's Fury. 100 Thieves, they have a big advantage to play with. Only thing is, they've rotated heavy to the A site. Based on what we're seeing here, EDG may still walk into them.
He's been the one player you really haven't wanted to face off against on this 100 Thieves side over the last couple of maps. Having an incredibly impressive performance. Getting a little bit dangerous, though. Back to a 2v2.
I have the spike.
He's going to be able to get out of there and retrieve the spike. Now, they have already cleared the majority of middle. The B site's being looked upon, and it seems like they already have... Well, they definitely have all the information, because you don't run through a site like this if you don't.
Yeah, Chichu got all that space for them.
Spike planted.
EU and Cryo have to retake op in hand for Cryo. In terms of utility to break back through, they don't have their drone. Probably have to wait for the reveal to come on. That's just come on now. So they've at least got that to move towards the site. It's Chichu stood in this alleyway waiting for the peek. If EU can find this, they've got a good chance. He's at least avoided the danger at the start. Reveal pops, and here goes Cryo, but they're ready. Each fight taken, and each fight won. EDG.
Chichu, just those late lurks, catching rotations, making sure that any attempt to support whichever site they decide to hit. Okay. Obviously, it's only a pistol for Cryo, but I don't think no matter what gun he had there, he didn't get a second to breathe.
I think, again, looking at that previous, you just have to highlight that, you know, Boostio, he's getting diffed by Chichu when it comes to those late round lurk-ups. Chichu's having all the impact in the world, and right there, losing Boostio, losing all that utility on the B site, that's what gave them an easy route in and an easy plant. The man who was standing up to start this series out is being sat down a little bit. I love that. Khan gets in, uses the util to stun them up, and then TP's right back out. He's got info. He knows one was playing up close. Xander's already been dealt with. EU trades places. Classic out. It's a brave play, and nobody punishes. Doubles up as well. Oh, that looked like there was some real opportunity, but in the end, it will go the way of EDG as per usual.
I am not letting them near B.
I mean, that came off a single alarm bot being tripped. Killjoy ult, and it's a good job too. It bought time for EU to come into play. EDG looking to execute through as 3. 2-man disadvantage to play with. Should be the round that 100 Thieves finally get on the board. Cryo's on his walk through. Boostio's got the wall bang. This is it. This is 100 Thieves back in the saddle with Chichu falling. Boostio, solid round from him. That's what we needed to see. The ult helping out, buying time.
We've had lots of success going towards this B site and playing into middle. We've not really been able to crack the A site, so chances are if they've taken a pause, they're going to adapt away from A. Let's try that push again, and instead...
The late game play will be to group up and pressure what has been that weakness towards the B site.
Hitting the brick, back in a flash.
Khan already looking to put the pressure on. He's been using this a lot for information. Asuna tries to counter and succeeds. An impactful double that at least gives a little bit of room for Boostio to play with. The full force of EDG now remain on the B site, but there's not a lot of time to play with. Bustio just trying to hold on to the back of it. The cam will give away his position, but he's landing the shots, looks for a little more, and he gets it. It's left all on to Chichu. That 1 versus 1, and it's Xander up against him. You mentioned the amount of rounds this man has won for his team almost individually. He is slowly sneaking his way and spots his opponent. It's another clutch, and it's another round for 100 Thieves. They will at least bring it back to 5. For these two partner organizations, that is not what they will be looking for. Kankan already the point of contact, but they know he's here.
Oh, and he's not going anywhere. Swings back into the angle and takes down Xander. Smoggy with the paranoia ready, buys a little bit more time, and they're worried about that short crunch. This is a much more direct play from 100 Thieves. A pistol here to put them right back into the game.
So he hasn't been able to see almost anything, but it has still left multiple players to defend.
There's that JC closing the door. They know he's up close. Dealing with him still costs another player. It's keeping numbers even. Smoggy blinded up. They'll make their way towards the site. Chichu swings. Smoggy does too, but they both fall at the hands of Bustio. A sliver of health left for him, and nobody in the 1 versus 1. Shock dart is good. It's tagged him up heavy and hard. 25 HP, and the reveal gives nobody all the information. He knows now that player is boxed in, and he even backs off. He's playing mind games with EU, hoping that he'll push out into the open, give him the opportunity. For now, at least, EU's just retreating. He's trying to find a safe space to hide, but nobody catches him on the fallback. EDG well on the path, the home stretch. The 100 Thieves being understandably very cautious. Still, the site they're going towards has 3 players on it. Nobody's already found the first. He's followed up with more. The Guardian doing so much work here for EDG. Paranoia's good. Asuna does manage to make it out unscathed, but nobody's 4! And so close to the ace! Still, he's done enough! He's going.
Oh, they've got to be so careful. They've definitely spotted him, and of course that means the escape, but instead it's Cryo to at least be able to find a couple back. Give them the man advantage for this round. He's one off a Blade Storm. Kankan's going to go for it again. This time he doesn't have the utility to keep him safe, and well, eventually will go down, but nobody is still available. And now going to look to double back in towards this B site. Timing's going to be everything. There's a chance that nobody could catch him instead. Hearing the TP across, maybe a little bit wary that that could have been an attempt to bait him. Instead, he might actually just get himself the 1v1s. It seems like Bustio will get into position.
Yeah, they're lined up nicely now on Bustio's contact. Xander will swing. The reactions needed for nobody to get away with this are surreal. Reveal goes out. Oh, it was so close. But Xander, always reliable for 100 Thieves.
In close proximity.
You should run.
Well, that should at least save them a bit of bother. Chichu forced out of this site as the lockdown stands strong. The dash in Cryo clears all the space, and a plant can now be found on the back of the site. But in the meantime, hello? He's just taken Xander down through the wall. Looking for a little more, tagged up heavy at least. But the players using the smoke to get on out. EDG flooding back towards the switch and landing themselves a few. Nobody with 2 keeps the advantage in their favor. Kankan has ultimate, and it's going to be put through. Cryo forced into the open. He gets a free kill. And ZJC with it all to do, but it's only 1. Asuna, he knows where he is. The nade is good. Ooh, he's just gotten past it though. And ZJC's not ready for that. A 3-piece from Asuna. It's a big gamble with 3 players towards that side of the map. No real information kept around middle. Jump peaks for the most part. Paranoia is thrown through on A. Hunter's Fury as well. Oh! They've gotten away with an opening pick. That Hunter's Fury was to punish A main to get a bit of information. And instead, they've now got the advantage. Reveal is great, but Chichu, whoa, gets enough damage in. Nobody following up. What? But EU somehow picked up a double. That equalizes the numbers. That puts it back into a winnable space, but the spike is on short, alone, and challenging Kankan. That's a freebie. EU 3 kills to his name already, but sprinting towards Concon. There's 12 seconds left. The door has to be wide open, and of course, Concon is just waiting for his chance to take them down. This is done! Even if he doesn't find the kill, the clock was going to defeat them.
By EDG, 25-11, by the way. Any doubt? I don't know who's doubting at this point. Fools. But this guy is back in form. Hunter's Fury and Arsonist Stinger, but it's a very quick trade back. That advantage was barely felt.
At the beginning of the end, it seems Xander does well. Damage done to ZJC too. I mean, this could come back into their favor with a TP to the other side of the map. EU lurking up on mid, but he's been tagged heavy. And the shock doesn't soften up Chichu enough. He survives on 3 HP. They've got the bodies. And fighting in is and he wins that somehow! Asuna!
They're both low.
He needs a plant. They are both low. And it's a Stinger that he's got. The perfect weapon to quickly clean them up. And those sprays, close as they may be, not close enough. Asuna still drawing breath. They'll push this together though.
Oh, even if they do, that might end up playing in his favor. A single burst from that Stinger could be enough to take them down. He's in the corner, but of course, they're so low, they're not going to spam it. They're never going to spam it! He's running across! Asuna takes them both! They are keeping themselves alive by the skin of their teeth, and hit with 4 kills off the back of a Stinger. The 2024 champions out of the tournament in dead last. Kankan, though, stands between them, but again, he's gone down first. Cryo has dealt with him 2 rounds in a row. And what was a heavy investment into the superstar has come up with nothing.
Nobody wishing he had those shields now. The fight seems to be coming Chichu's way. They'll be caught by the trap, but nothing comes of it. Chichu knows, though, that these players are getting close. Both cages up. He's built a wall, an area to defend, but they're about to go down, and he only grabs the one. Smoggy is in there with a double, though. Emerging from heaven, the savior of EDG in this round. EU, a sliver of health, and nobody, he could even end it with that shock dart he had primed in his bow. For EU, this needs to be an unbelievable clutch, and it is unbelievable as EDG take it across the line with a chance for revenge against Gen G. They continue their lower bracket run and the key of 100 Thieves despite one hell of a well-fought series.